to another edition of your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show.
Question is, did she subscribe?
Right.
I don't know, she's down on YouTube.
Representing from the Boondocks. What up, Jobo?
Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday.
What up? Happy repping her Hey Sister Soldier look right now. Everybody give it up for Bunny. What's happening, Bunny?
What up? Happy hump day.
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
I'm back, and I don't know about better than ever, but I'm back.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth. I think that may be on a highlight reel tape. And be glad that you are tuning in live along with the millions
And millions
of the platform sports talk show fans on once again your Wednesday night Sports Delight.
Really?
Or
Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with
There you go.
97 million. There you go.
all you hear is this.
Probably somebody who's doing something to give back and letting the next generation.
Say straight.
Have me syrup on here.
Come on now, don't hit me too up. You know I get emotional.
But people watching around the world, no pressure. And we already have our favorite fan, Ms. Williams, saying, welcome, Brandon.
Well, how are you? Hi, Ms. Williams.
A guy who tried to give it his all and put on for the city, to be truthful. Because like I said, I'm St. Louis die hard.
The views of Smooth does not reflect the platform sports talk show or its sponsors.
What is happening, everyone? It is your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. It is your boy Smooth. And as I said in the promos, it's been a while, man. I feel like I ain't been on this show in quite some time. And the reason why, we've had special shows come up during the main show week. Then, of course, we had the Man Cave, which has been incredible. Ladies' Night last week was amazing. And tonight, it's no different because we have part one of the coaches roundtable. And I know y'all probably saying, man, where'd I get the idea from? Where'd that come from? Well, glad y'all asked. Last Thursday, I was like, man, you know what? I just want to do something different, you know what I'm saying, for the show, give everyone else on the panel a break. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like coaches are just undervalued, underappreciated. And, you know, I'm like, you know, well, let's do something different and fun and engage and have coaches come together and just talk. So I was able to reach out to some coaches, and I'm so glad that they were able to be on the show this evening. Some will be coming on a little bit later because of prior, you know, obligations going on, but they will be on the show. And shouts out to Miss Dub, our favorite fan, says, hey, Fred, I'm watching with CC on while I'm on my call. So we appreciate it. No matter what you're doing, where you at, how you doing it, as long as you tuned into the platform sports talk show right now, I appreciate it. So like I said, we're going to have an amazing show this evening, a great panel of coaches. And throughout the night, you're going to see on the bottom of the screen something like this, that if you know a coach or if you are a coach who may want to be on the next edition of the Coaches Roundtable, doesn't matter what sport it is, doesn't matter what city, what state, what country you're from, we can make it happen on the platform sports talk show. Because that's what this show's all about, is giving y'all a platform to just be you, be authentic, be transparent, keep it 100, and just show that passion, love that you have for sports. So I am looking forward to this show. And for those who may not be aware, this may be your first time watching right now, this show is about to celebrate 8 years next month, y'all. 8 years of the platform sports talk show consistently going down every Wednesday night. You can probably count on one hand the times that we have not been on the air. That's how consistent we are. We give you nothing but great content, great interviews, great stories to share, and just, you know, our viewpoints. You know, we all had different personalities, different viewpoints, but we all come together from the ladies' night panel to the Man Cave crew. We just one big family. And tonight we have a family of coaches that's going to hold things down tonight as I moderate. So at this time, go ahead and hit that like, get them shares going. We want to have so many people tuned in right now to the platform sports talk show. You can find us on Facebook, the platform sports talk show, on the X at 314 Sports Talk. You can email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. We right now live on that Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. And of course, go on YouTube, subscribe, and click on that bell. So anytime we go live, you will be notified. Also, once the show is over, it'll be uploaded on Roku. So if you have a Roku device, just put in the Platform Sports Talk Show as a channel, and you'll see amazing content on your screen, on your devices and everything. And also, you can listen in. If for some reason you can't see us right now, you can listen in right now on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. Go on hot365radio.com or download it on any iOS or Android device by putting in Hot 365 Radio, and you will see the logo and you will hear us in amazing, crystal clear, high def quality. The show will be running again on Hot 365 Radio every Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So there's no reason why you can't check us out, whether it's visually or you can just hear us. And we're also on Twitch, Hot 365 Radio, and on Smoooth Productions. Once again, Smoooth with 3 O's. Every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave. Shouts out to the men holding things down. Sadal, Craig Black, T-Bone Funk, Mario, and the host Stanton. And every first Wednesday of the month, like last week, which was amazing. Shouts out to our special guest, Brittany Carter. But we have Ladies Night, Jobo, Michelle A, Coach Willis, who will be on the show very soon, Annie, and of course the host with the most, Bunny. So once again, it is going to be an amazing show. Looking forward to it. And we're going to go ahead and start things off by bringing in one of the coaches, one of the ladies from a previous show that she was on a while back, maybe about, I want to say almost 2 years ago or so. But she is the head coach of the girls basketball team from Cardinal Ritter. Had an amazing season, and she'll tell you more. Coach Raven Ward, how are you doing this evening?
Hey Fred, thanks for having me. I'm doing good. This weather in St. Louis is good, feeling good. Why not feel good?
So what were your thoughts when we had that one day in St. Louis where it was like 87 degrees, and then 2 hours later it was like 50 degrees and then 30 degrees?
It was 30 degrees. Yeah, I remember going in the house when it was warm, and I think I came back out the next day with a t-shirt on, turned right back around. Like, what are we doing?
Crazy. I mean, but it's just so St. Louis for that to happen like that. But
yeah,
what it is, I always say this, like, if you've been in the Lou longer than a couple years, then you shouldn't be surprised about what happens. If it snows tomorrow, you shouldn't be like, oh my God, it's snowing. Or in the weather. Come on now. You should know any kind of conditions. So let's stop acting like it's brand new. It's the mid. We should be used to this, you know. But speaking of which, tomorrow is 314 day. Do you have any big plans for 314 day?
Fred, I don't. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm actually not from St. Louis. I don't live in St. Louis. I just coach over there, work over there. So I'm actually from East St. Louis. So I'm more so concerned with 618 day.
y'all cool. Much love to the east side. You know what I'm saying? Much love to the east side. So up next, I'm gonna bring in one of the fellas. This man here, he was part of the Man Cave a while back, and he is back on the show again. This is my dude here, man. Very humble cat. Had some great battles against him during my time at the V, and of course he was at Beaumont, and he's doing this thing right now at St. Mary's High School as the head basketball coach. Amazing dude, my guy, Coach Brian Turner. What is going on with you, brother?
What's up with you, Fred? How you doing, man? Thanks for the invite, man. You know, this that time of year. You know, if you're not one of the lucky ones getting it, being able to play for a Final Four for a championship, it's kind of like I guess a renewal season. So right now I'm in my renewal stage. So kind of like you said, enjoying the weather, and man, ready to just charge this battery back up. So.
Yeah, and like you just said, it could be bittersweet. You know, you being on the show is cool, but you would rather be kind of busy preparing for state.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, I think all of us on here is our goal is really trying to play the last official game of the season, and you know, for some, you know, it's hats off to them. But if you're not part of that group, man, you just you're trying to find ways to kind of stay busy, because for the last like 4 or 5 months, man, you had a routine. So now it's about just changing up and switching up your routine, and kind of getting back comfortable, seeing what's going on in the real world.
And I see we have someone already leaving comments. That's what this show is all about. We got K representing, I believe, St. Mary's Dragons.
Oh yeah. So no. So like I said, thanks, man, for the invite, man. Can't wait to chop it up with the coaches, and man, ready to jump into this.
Most definitely. So hold on tight. Up next, we have another fella. He was on our show a few years back. This was in person back at the old spot, and reached out to him, and he was so gracious to be on. I definitely appreciate it. He is the head coach of the girls basketball team at Pattonville High School. I believe his daughter plays for him as well. So gotta talk about that a little bit more as well. but he's been having success doing his thing, and he's back on the platform Sports Talk Show for the first time in a while. Coach Don Boyce. Don, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, doing well. It's been a while since we've talked and everything.
I know, man. Thanks for having me, man. I had a great time a couple of years ago. So glad to be back, man.
Yeah, we definitely got to make it to do more things together, man. Don't have as many spaces between the last time we discussed things and everything. So we're gonna make that happen.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, sir. So how things been going your way? How life been treating you?
Pretty good, man. Going into my sixth season at Pattonville next year. Fire was lit in me this year. I didn't like how our season ended, and my kids are like super motivated, and we already started our preseason workouts. We started actually last week, so we're probably 3 weeks ahead on our usual timing of how we like to start our summers off and our spring off, and so I'm really looking forward to next season. We're gonna shock a lot of people.
That's what's up, man. I'm looking forward to it. And I had to make it a point to take some time and go out to everyone's game, man, next season. So stay tuned for that. So I'm gonna put you in the background just for a second because I'm gonna introduce someone else real quick. She is in the A right now, representing Action No Mercy Elite. She has been part of, and she will always be family, bottom line, part of the Ladies Night crew. And she's taking some time out of her busy schedule like everyone else is, and I look forward to bringing her on. Coach Stringer, what is happening?
What's going on?
Man, great to have you back. Long time no see.
For sure. How you doing, man?
Man, everything is good. And like I told you on the phone a couple of days ago, how proud I am just to see how the growth of Action on Mercy is taking you and taking things to a whole different level, man.
I appreciate that so much.
Man, most definitely. Just tell everyone real quick how things been going in the A.
Man, it's been a blessing. It's been busy. I can't really complain. You know, I came down here, had to make something shake. Right now, I'm currently at the pro workouts with my guys, so they're in the background working out right now. But it's been a blessing, man.
Put them to work. Let's go. I like it. All right, so just sit tight. I'm about to bring in our last panelist. Well, not last, but one of the last panelists at this time. Right now, she is one of the co-hosts or panelists for Ladies Night. Y'all saw her last week. Had a great interview with her girl, Brittany Carter. She just got home from, I believe, parent-teacher conference. This the homie, man, my little sis. I got to call her that, man. And she's been instrumental to the growth of Ladies Night, and very, very good person, very humble person, and look forward to hearing her story again and having her talk with everyone else as well. Representing from, well, she got a different school that she go to and teaches and coaches. So I'm gonna just say right now, the head basketball coach from Clayton High School, Brittany Willis. What up, Britt?
Hey, y'all. Yes, I just got home from parent-teacher conference. It's a full busy week for me, so things have not slowed down just yet.
Yeah, I know that we talk about it later on throughout the show. You know, just win districts, and like you said on the phone, like you do this, then more things come your way and keep you even more busy and busier. And like what BT and I discussed, I'm pretty sure you would rather not be on the show while you're focusing on trying to win state.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's definitely something that we always strive for. We talk about that at the beginning of the season. We talk about backwards planning. So, yes, definitely would love to be in that position and still playing for sure.
Most definitely. So thank you once again for taking time out to be on the show. And now let's go ahead and bring everyone in because we're going to go ahead and get this round table started. Everyone, you have everyone.
What's popping?
There we go. All right, so I want to go ahead and start things off by asking this question here. And I'll start off with you, Brittany. And without you, camera pointing towards you. And once you're on the screen, that's when you just go ahead and leave your answers. Keep it simple like that. So I'll start off with you. This for everyone once again. But Brittany, when did you realize that moment that you wanted to be head coach?
What's crazy, when I was playing basketball at McKendree, my college coach was like, "Oh, you want to be a coach someday?" And I was like, "No, I don't." I had no aspirations to become a coach. But I always, enjoyed being around it. And then when I entered grad school, I was a grad assistant at Missouri Baptist. And it was just kind of like that moment. I was like, oh, I think I can do this. So just kind of one of those moments where I just kind of know thyself. So just, taking baby steps and really like trying to shore up what it's like being on the other side of the basketball. Because like coaching is totally different. Like I play the sport, I can do it, but coaching was something different. So I would say like, especially my second year as a grad assistant, that's kind of like when I knew that I wanted to give this a shot.
That's awesome. Coach Raven?
Yeah, so I have a younger brother, and he took the basketball just like me. And I can remember maybe 2016 working out with him. It just felt like, man, it's something that I really can do. And then all I do is watch basketball. So the knowledge is there. So I just figure if I can pour into a young woman and, teaching the game, then that's something I, want to do with any spare time that I have. So probably just training my little brother was definitely when I realized I wanted to coach.
That's what's up. Coach Stringer.
I think I wanted to be a head coach after I fell in love with playing. Probably my third year in Missouri when I was playing for my semi-pro team. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. I was really training kids and doing fundamental training. So I think I just fell in love with teaching. It's felt the same teaching and coaching. You're always teaching and inspiring and mentoring. So that's kind of when I know I want to.
That's awesome. BT.
Well, coaching kind of fell in my lap a little bit because we all kind of like we got playing experience. So you go all these years with just developing this skill. You never know where this skill is going to actually take you at the end of the day. And so you get all this knowledge, and it's just like, you can be anywhere watching basketball, and all of a sudden it's like you giving some direction, or you telling someone, hey, you can do this to kind of improve. And so, man, as soon as I came back home and just being around young folks, I was just like, man, hey, you doing this wrong, or you doing that wrong. And before you know it, people started coming around me saying, hey, could you help do this? Would you mind doing this? And before you know it, it just was a natural transition. But I can't remember just the time where I just said, hey, let me just try to be a head coach. I think at the end of the day, we got so much information in us that it's just like, hey, let's just try to take this to the next level. And so was just lucky and blessed to be around some good mentors to kind of put me in a good situation. And it was just like, hey, we're going to leave this for you. You know exactly what to do. And I just took the ball and kind of ran with it. So that's kind of like, everything in a nutshell as far as my start, kind of discovering when I want to kind of be a head coach.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome as well. Everyone has this great story. So right now we're waiting on Coach Boyce. I think he give me the thumbs up when you're ready, Don. We'll see if he's ready to go ahead and talk. He was getting some AirPods and his connection and everything right. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, everyone, in regards to what led you to be a head coach. Anyone can answer this when y'all ready, but was it like someone or something? I know you said, Raven, it was playing basketball, your brother and everything. Was it like you may have seen the game and said, man, if I would have done that, if I had the opportunity to do this, I would have done that. Has there anyone been in that position where they were like, you know what, if that was me, I would have did this instead? And that's what just kind of like say, you know what, I'm about to just take it all the way and be serious with it. Anyone can answer.
I mean, I'm always yelling at the TV when I'm watching. So always yelling at the TV. I watch basketball so much, so I'm always looking at, not even that I would do something different, but just, paying attention to what some of the high-level coaches are doing, especially the female ones, Don Staley, Tyra Vanderbilt, all of them, just watching them, just seeing what they're doing and just figuring out how I can, implement some of the stuff they're doing their teams, with their programs, into what I got going on.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I vividly remember like going to like the Martin Luther King shootouts and like the Normandy Christmas tournaments back in the day,
Oh, man.
watching and watching Cardinal Ritter and Preston Thomas, and just seeing, and this was the Cardinal Ritter on Thekla, so it's just kind of like you hear stories of just like, you know, all these amazing athletes, and you know, they in this rough part of town, but then seeing a man. And like I said, lucky enough to meet him, befriend him, and kind of pick his brain a little bit. But just, man, being so classy, man, so well organized. And as a little kid, I'm kind of sitting back like, man, this dude got a lot of poise. You know, he knows this stuff. And I just remember just being up at those games watching Preston, like, man, this dude got it going on. So right then and there, the seed was kind of planted as saying like, if I get older and become an elder man, this is kind of like the personification I kind of want to take on. And like I said, just being lucky enough to be around good mentors as far as my high school coaches and the people I came up around, I was just like, man, I've been lucky enough to be around some good basketball minds. So
yeah, and then like you just said, man, those days at the Coca-Cola shootout, and then Normandy. Oh my God, I had to talk about this with Jahadi White and Lauren Woods when we had them on the show a while back. Chris Carrawell, those years playing the V, of course, but other games as well, man. Those scenes were just electric. I'm not sure if it could be done again like it used to be back in the day, BT. But those moments, those games were just must see. You had to be there. And for those who remember, especially at Normandy, from the front door to the freaking parking lot, it was a long line, and it was no one mad because they knew they're gonna watch some good basketball. And with that being said, do y'all feel that with today's game that's missing, or is that coming back slowly but surely? I'll start off with you, Brittany.
Are you referring back to just the environment, what Normandy brings? I would love to see it. I think it's good for just St. Louis basketball in general. You know, just to celebrate kids, playing in front of a big crowd, playing for like a purpose. You know, I know this year at Clayton High School, Lutheran North, they played. We used our space at Clayton High School, but they have this program called Positive Black Men. I think that's what it's called. And we did it on King Day. So it's a celebration of King Day, but also like for a good cause. And then like, I always like to bring the why and why we're doing this. Like, yes, it's basketball, but there's a reason behind it. And then just, you know, be able to sit in the gym for hours and watch some good basketball. And it was also an opportunity for me to see other programs because, you know, being a coach, you're so busy with your own. So I love it. You know, the energy is always great. I would say it's very, you know, it's positive, and it's just so good for the community, I think.
Anyone else think about how the game is now, and if we can bring back that must see, gotta go to game feel around basketball?
Well, I think on the female side, the young ladies, they're bringing a lot of excitement to the game. If you ever get a chance to check out the Visitation Christmas tournament, that atmosphere is pretty. It's amazing. Like it's not Normandy Christmas tournament, but it's the big stage for the young ladies, and it's some good ball being played.
Most definitely. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm going to echo that because it's funny when you get the guys wanting to leave practice early to go to the girls' game. I think, like Don was saying, like visitation, like that's something that, you know, not saying I wasn't like fond to it, but like I said, when you get players saying, "Hey, coach, you know, we're going to this game," or you know, you kind of ask me what game y'all going to check out, and they actually going to say we're going to see some, you know, some girls' games. I think the girls' game within itself is at a high point, even when it just comes to women college basketball. I've been more intrigued with watching them play than kind of watching and following the guys so much this year. So I think, I mean, it's kind of like ebbs and flow. Every year you kind of get a dominant team. I think as far as on the boys side this year, it really wasn't a dominant team that had everybody coming out like this is like a must see. I think when we have years where it's like a high profile kid, a top 50 kid, I think the excitement is more energized around St. Louis. But I mean, everybody has their own eras when it comes to what's considered exciting or not. But it's hard to relive that 90s basketball feel.
Yeah, and Coach Stringer, I know you in the A now, so I know it's probably so much different in the A than it is in St. Louis. So how is that scene right now?
Oh man, I wouldn't say it's too much different. I mean, I do the same thing. I mean, I'm recruiting kids still in St. Louis and in Georgia, same thing. So I'm not in the high school coaching room, but I am, watching what they're doing, how they're being marketed, and all those kind of things. But I would say Atlanta basketball is probably steps ahead with the skill. So that's a different type of vibe. But I think girls basketball in general has came a long way. I'm enjoying watching more girls play now than I did over the last couple of years. So I will say it's not too different. I enjoy watching what I see in, any state I'm working with.
And I know that you have to go very soon. So I want to ask you this question while I have everyone on here. What is something that the ATL is doing or Georgia is doing differently that you feel St. Louis maybe need to step up their game and do more of so it can get more? Kind of like the music scene. You know how they say you got Outkast, you got Two Chains, you got T.I., everyone come together and everyone is a vibe. It's a joy. The promotion is crazy out there. What is something that you're seeing out in Georgia that maybe is lacking a little bit in Missouri?
I think that with St. Louis, everybody's on the same accord. I think as far as like pushing the same narrative is one thing that Atlanta kind of does differently. I think everybody's in the same pot trying to like put these kids in the right places, marketing these kids, being the mentor that the kids need for sure. I can't say it's not happening in St. Louis. I think it happens more in Atlanta where everybody's kind of like buying in on the same page. Not as competitive, I'll say, but just kind of really just having the same mission to kind of put the kids in the right positions.
That's dope. That's dope. Don, I asked everyone else earlier while you were working on your phone, when did you realize that you wanted to be a head coach?
It kind of fell in my lap. I think it was 2012, 11 or 12. College teammate of mine was the head coach at North Tech, and he asked me to be his assistant, and I was like, cool. I wouldn't mind helping out or whatever. And he had some family issues that year, and I had to take over as head coach, and it just felt right. And ever since then, like I don't know, it's like that since once you can't play anymore, you try to look to find something to fill that void. And I love competing. I love competition. So it just felt natural for me. So
That's awesome. And once again, Coach Stringer, if you got to go, just let me know or just do a deuces and everything. I know you got to go ahead and get back to your
I got to get back to my boys. We got a big game this weekend, but as always, it's a pleasure to see everybody's face on here. I will be back in town the next, I want to say in 2 months. So I'll be back soon. And I'll definitely make sure I get up with everybody and, chop it up like we usually do.
Most definitely. Go ahead and do your thing, Coach, and appreciate you being on for part 1 of the Coaches Roundtable.
For sure. I wish you all great luck in next season as well.
Thanks, Coach.
All righty.
So this is a question, and this is for anyone to start off with, because once again, I'm just a moderator, so y'all can ask your own questions to each other or whatever y'all want to do. That's what this show is all about. But tell us your proudest moment that you've had as a head coach. They like, dang, Smooth, you coming in with the heat.
I can start. Again, like my story, I wasn't anticipating or had any aspirations becoming a head coach, but just wrapping up my 4th season at Clayton, also as a head coach, I would say by the end of this season, I was probably the most proudest. Only because just, coming in, it's not just coaching. There's just a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, I had to learn and work through. I have a great athletic director who has just, always guided me in the right direction. And just being in my position, there are times where I, second guess myself versus like, no, I should just go with my first initial gut or, doing what's best. And, when I look back, because I reflect a lot, I would say this season I've probably been like the happiest I've been. Just all the work that I put in on things that I've learned throughout my first 3 years. Because there were questions. I was like, I don't know if I'm made out to be a head coach. I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but to see the end result and in coming in a program that I had to pretty much flip from night and day, it was hard to do. I'm proud that all my 4 years, like we've improved every single year. And I when I first started, I couldn't tell you if I was able or capable of doing that. So I would say by the end of the season, it's probably one of my proudest moments, just being able to flip a program, because that's something that I didn't know if I was capable of doing. And then just, I've coached basketball here and there, but just to do the work that I did. And I have to, thank everyone who was right by me, like my coaches, people behind the scenes. And, at Clayton, we went through a lot. We went through like policy changes. When I took over as the head coach, we had this participation policy because at one point Clayton struggled with getting participation. So my first 2 years, I'm dealing with a no cut policy. And I'm like, whoa, like, I don't know if I'm made out for this. Like, how do you expect me to turn the program and I can't cut players, right? So I've been through different policies. I went through different coaching staff. So I'm, this, like I said, by this end of the season is probably my proudest moments as a coach, being able to change a program.
That's awesome. Coach Ward.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, and I watched Britt's face look like, I don't know. So to be honest, I'm only in my second year as a head coach. I don't know if I've reached that moment where I've had proud moments yet, because I'm really my biggest critic. So as a head coach, I transparently don't know what that moment would be for me. But if I can say any proud moment that if I had a proud moment, it would definitely be winning state with John Burroughs that year. So it was my second season coaching high school basketball, and then just being able to build relationships with those kids and eventually get to state and win it is probably my most proud moment. But I definitely, Fred, I don't have a proud moment as a head coach yet. I'm work in progress.
And Don.
I think my proudest moments are when my seniors or juniors, when that light goes off and they finally realize, like, all the things, all the lessons that you've been trying to teach them and trying to get through to them, that it finally clicks and they kind of understand. And it's like a relief. Like I'm helping send you off into the real world. And I'm always nervous for these kids because, high school is high school, but the real world is waiting on them. And just seeing them turn the corner and mature and understand what's next. And that all the talks, all the tough conversations came from a place of love and not a place of, trying to tear you down or anything like that. So when that finally clicks for them, like that's like my proud moment for all of them.
Yeah, I feel that, especially when, like you just said, you're seeing a player that you've been getting at them for days, maybe years. Like, if you just do this, and then that one practice or that one game, I see everyone with Bobby agreeing, like, boom, it just finally clicked. Like, I've been trying to tell you this the whole time, you know, while they try to get mad at you and being their feelings and, oh, the coach don't want to see me be great or being hard on me. But like you just said, Don, just seeing what you've been stressing, and it's finally just come to him like, here we go.
It's like a light goes off, and it's like, man, that's pretty dope. 2 years ago, my best player at the time, we were at practice, and she looked at the coaching staff, and she was like, "What do other teams say about me? What do you all mean? Like, give it to me straight. Like, I can take it." And I looked at my assistant coach, and I'm like, "Let her have it." And she looked at us and she said, "Thank you. I needed that." And it really changed her last, like, probably 5 or 6 games. And I mean, I was in shock, but I was so proud because she finally reached a place where she could take constructive criticism and use it the right way and not like pout about it or get in her feelings or anything like that. So I like, she grew up at that practice, and that was pretty cool to see. I can't lie.
Nice. How about yourself, Coach BT?
Man, I think, man, my proudest moments, I think I'm still trying to reach for some more proud moments. I think I'm always proud of, you know, when you get that call saying that, you know, kids graduated, kids, you know, they bought their first house, they done got married, they done had they first child, and you still have that conversation with them. I think some on the surface level, some people may think that, you know, you coaching them only for 4 years, but in actuality, it's like, once you sign up to be one of mine and play in my program, like, it's really like family. And man, just throughout the journey, man, all around, man, I'm proud of so many guys that I have come in a program where you look at their personal growth. When they first came in, you know, they went through every aspect of the program, from playing freshman to playing JV to making a big, huge play in a varsity game when the game is on the line. You know, those are the memories that kind of sit back and you kind of, you know, you laugh with the other coaches like, man, can you believe we got this done with this person, man? Look at where he came from. So yeah, so I'm proud of my guys. When I have those moments, I can't really put a finger point to one particular time. But yeah, even just throughout the course of this year, having, you know, my seniors, playing for my seniors and looking at their faces, knowing that these were like my COVID kids. These were the kids who came into the school, who went through that COVID year, who decided to stick around. And then the community impact with the news of our school about on the verge of closing, and going to those parents and going to those players saying, hey, things are going to be all right. I'm going to put my all into sticking around, seeing your son graduate, and we're going to have a good year. To being able to have an amazing year like this, I think that's some proud moments that I can just, you know, kind of see right now that I'm like, man, these guys have kind of been through a lot, but continuing to grow, to trying to find more. But those are some that I just kind of can think of right off the bat.
Do y'all still like, let's say first day of practice comes and y'all notice that one player that it's just kind of hard to get to? Do y'all be like, oh yeah, that's the one? I can't wait to finally have that person be like, I got it. Do y'all still run into that? And, you know, how does that make y'all feel?
It's crazy. So one of my seniors, I hate to say this, but we lost to Cardinal Ritter in our last game this year. But I had y'all shaking in your boots in that first half, girl. I had a nice game plan. You know, just y'all bench was a little deeper, but I was so proud of my girls' effort. Period.
Brett, last time I checked, it was 4 quarters to the game.
I know. I had kids in foul trouble. Okay, I had kids in foul trouble. Like, whatever. Again, like we left it on the floor. I have no regrets. I was so proud of them. It was a lot. Like I had to pretty much break things down. I was like, hey, this could be your last game. And I also told my kids, this is the last time we're ever going to be a team together, play together. Like, let's do it. But one of my players, she's graduating, and her parents called me the next day, you know, just saying like, hey, thank you for everything you've done. Like, I'm trying to reach this kid since day one. And, you know, and I've also learned like just being careful with saying like potential, because, you know, it kind of puts a lot on the kid in general. But like the parent was like, oh, she had an epiphany. And I'm like, oh, okay, what was that about? And, you know, her performance against Connor Ritter was something like oh, this is what coach was saying. I should been playing like this the entire time. And, you know, she's going to play at the next level. But, you know, I was just telling her, like, I am trying to prepare you for what's next versus you having to go to college to figure it out and be like, oh, this is what Coach Willis was talking about. So, like, yeah, it's always that one player. And there's also learning, like, you know, just meeting kids where they are, you know. It's not like she didn't know, you know, because I would tell her all the time. So, yes, this senior, I've dealt with it all her years of career, and then, you know, all of a sudden after the last game, it's like, oh, this is what it means. So I tell my kids, don't take anything for granted, you know, because you never know. Like, you know, I have kids that are going to play at the next level. I have kids who this is going to be the last time you're ever going to suit up and play a competitive basketball game. So, like, I just really preach to my kids, like, don't take anything for granted. You know, if you want to be that player, be that player. You know, and it's frustrating as it is. They have to be that one to make the choice. You know, I can't, like, all I can do is just tell them, you know, from my experience, and just also talking with, you know, like, I still talk to my college coach and just my mentors and everything, figuring like, what is it that I need to do as a coach? And, you know, I just always want them to be, you know, prepared, or just tell them what they need to know. But like, it can be challenging, especially, you know, again, like, they have the potential, but like, I learned to be careful with that word, because it's like, can they succeed to that expectation where I see them, you know? And it's that you have to have that willpower to want to be that player. So it can be frustrating at times, but, you know, just got to keep coaching them through it.
How about yourself, Coach Raven? Maybe do you still have that person you be like, oh man, I'm gonna get to her. I'm gonna get.
Yeah. I had a couple instances. I think the biggest one for me is like when you walk in the gym and you can see yourself in a kid. So I had a kid met me last year. I could see myself in it, just 100%. And you know, last year was all right. We just getting to know each other. We just getting to figure it out. But then this year it's like, you know, she's like, thank you. I needed to hear that. Sort of what Don was saying about his kid 2 years ago. But the bigger thing is like when you meet a freshman, and the freshman is so coachable and has all the skill and ability, and you're able to get to them right away as far as what you're teaching, and they buy in right away. So I also had a freshman along with that senior that bought in. I had a freshman this year that just bought in right away. You know, just threw herself out there, understood it. And for me, it's like, that's going to take time when you meet a kid that's skilled, that's talented, freshman. But shocked me. She was just like, all right, I'm all in. What I need to know. You know, what's next, coach? What do I do here? What do I do that? So it's always good too. On the flip side, when you get those babies that come in and they just want to know how to buy in.
Don.
For me, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. I find it's not always the kid, it's the kid's support group. The kid I don't have a problem with, but it's what this kid is being told by others, and getting this kid to buy into what's best for the team that they're playing on at the moment. Not what you did in 8th grade and your role when you were in 7th grade or your summer team or anything like that, just getting kids to understand that whatever your role was in the past or on a different team, that role may change. And that's usually not the kid. It's, who they're influenced by that makes it more of a challenge than it probably should be. And that's the biggest difference from today's game and from when I was coming up. More coaches back then were probably empowered to coach and run their team however they say, however they seem fit. But nowadays, it's a little bit more difficult. So to me, it's just like I said, it's not the kid. It's coaching coaching or breaking down or trying to get the kid to buy into what you're trying to do on your team and not what they're being told by someone else.
So before I have BT to give us his answer as well, we want to add in another coach. I know we have a lot of basketball coaches on the show right now, but we're going to bring in a football guy. He's been on the show a few times. Great guy, had a wonderful season at Lutheran North High School. He's the head football coach of their team, and he is now on the show. Coach K-Dub, what is going on with you, sir?
Man, how y'all doing? I came in, Don was spitting some gems, man. We talking that real talk. I like it.
Yes, sir. Coach Kyle Wagner is on the show, and once again, welcome back on on the show, Coach. So going back real quick to BT, I was just asking them if you didn't hear earlier, Kyle, in regards to, do y'all still have that player, or when y'all see that player that you be like, you know what, he ain't getting it now, or he or she ain't getting it now, but I'm gonna get through that person. BT.
I don't really have like someone to where I'm really trying to like get through. I think when you kind of, when you build up as far as like, a program and have them understand, like, look, if you don't get it, I mean, not saying that we're gonna just close the door on you, but it's like, it's ways of getting your attention. Like kind of like what Don said, the support group of a lot of guys come in, and it's a lot of hype around them. We try to do our best with just giving them the information as far as like, look, it's not middle school. It's a lot that y'all have to learn. And even right now, you might think you're ready, but I don't never want to give a kid too much. And then all of a sudden it's like they peak early. And then now you done kind of created a monster for the next 3 years to where you really not going to kind of like really get through them. So we try our best to be as transparent as possible and give the families as much information as possible, but it's never a situation where I'm just like, man, I got something for him. It's just kind of like, we kind of let the program kind of weed those type of guys out to where it's like, okay, if you can't get it and you're not as part of like the advanced group, then you might have to play freshman, you might have to play JV, and there's nothing wrong with that because we have those teams to help you grow. But in the end, we try to just give those families as much information as possible and just say, hey, look, this is how we're going to do it. It's a way for your kid to grow and get better. But at the same time, we don't want to put him in a situation where he peaks too early and then he's not continuing to grow, if that makes sense.
Definitely does. And Coach Kyle Wagner, first off, congratulations on another successful season. I know that the end didn't get to where you wanted to, but definitely a lot of success in your season. You made a lot of noise, and I know it's not going to stop going into next year. So thanks for being on the show as well, and congrats on, once again, another incredible season with Lutheran North. Your thoughts in regards to your viewpoint in regards to, one, your proudest moment as a coach, and then two, you just eyeing that one player or players that you be like, you know what, I'm gonna get to that person. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get to it.
So proudest moment. I mean, I've been a part of some cool moments. I would probably say we had a big game against Trinity Catholic. It's probably one of the biggest games in St. Louis history, and one of our guys ended up making a play that looked like it was going to cost us the game. Nicholas Lotz, rest in peace to him. And the very next play, his teammates came up and they picked him up and they told the coach to stop yelling at him. And he got an interception on the next play after muffing a punt. That was a huge change in the game. So just seeing moments like that where the things that we teach the kids, sometimes they even model it better than us in the moment. So it's probably my proudest moment. Winning the state championship obviously was pretty cool, but I try not to hang my hat on stuff like that. My plan is to do that, a few more times, God willing. As far as the question, I think that these guys have hit on it quite a bit. I'm a little bit different, and like I'm going to play the best, player regardless of age or anything like that. So this past season on our semifinal team, I started 5 freshmen, and I actually was upset that we didn't get to a 6th freshman that should have been playing. That I kind of put on my staff a little bit and just getting that kid ready to go. I think my issue again comes more with the people that are around the kid. When you're talking about trying to get through to a kid and get a kid to, buy into the program. But our program is to the point where you get weeded out. And I don't make that a young or old thing, because sometimes the older kids get to a point to where, their parents, like in my program, kid get, 6 or 7 offers, then I got to worry about, a parent in my program feeling like they should be going somewhere else or not paying to go to school and stuff like that. So each situation is a little bit different. I just try and pour into my players, and, the ones that get it, that buy into what we're going to do, they're going to reap the benefits.
Awesome. So this just came to my mind. When someone says, "Oh, you're showing favoritism for this person over me or over that," yeah, there you go, Brittany. when y'all hear that, it happens. No matter what you do, no matter how you try to coach teams, coach your players, etc. That term always comes up. Oh, you're showing more for this person over that person. What is y'all response to that? Brittany, since you laugh, I'll go ahead and talk to you first.
Let me see how I can word this. Well, I would just say for me coming in, again, a community that I wasn't really familiar with, just kind of, just it was a great opportunity. And I just wanted to, start my career as, just start as a head coach. So of course, you have the people that are trying to play the playing field, and, and then also like me being on the younger side, I'm not supposed to know anything, but, I played the sport growing up, played at the highest level, played varsity in high school, played at the collegiate level at McKendree, and I played. So like, I felt like I have enough experience. I know what it takes. And kind of like what Coach K-Dub said, like, I'm going to play my best kids, and I tell my kids, hey, if you that 5, you that 5. It ain't about like, everybody thinks, oh, starting. No, you want to be that kid that finished the game. So favoritism, coming in a community that I don't know anything about, people in my ear, my kids this, my kids that, and then you get the whole, oh, you're showing favoritism. I give every kid every equal opportunity. But one of the things, every year, like I encourage my kids, every year you should come in as a different player. Don't be the same player that you were last year, right? So like, it could be like, I got kids who are excelling, they're getting better, they're spending time outside of, just Clayton High School basketball, they're putting the work in. And, I'm always asking my, kids, and also if, I'm talking to a parent, well, what is your child doing to prepare for this level? Everybody wants to play varsity, but it was just like, they didn't want to do the work to get there. So it was just like, oh, you're showing favoritism to this kid. Well, this kid is working hard. They're deserving of it. And my kids know, like, I don't give out handouts. So I just, I'm honest, I've never been the type of person that just tell people what they want to hear. They may not like it, but it's just like, it's not fair to those kids who are putting in the maximum. Like my players hear me say, like, everybody's put the minimum in. So when we practice for 2 hours, that's the minimum to me, right? What are you doing outside of that? So like I'm gonna award the kids, and again, I'm gonna put my best 5 out there to win games. It's not about favoritism, you know. Like I even pull my top players if they're not, you know, performing well or if they're messing up. So it's no favoritism at all. But yeah, I'm going to award the kids who are deserving. And the worst part of it for me is just like you're talking to me about favoritism, but your child is not doing anything in the off season. So, you know, so I'm like, I don't know what else you want me to say. And again, coming in, you know, coming into the Clayton community, a community that I'm not familiar with, you know, it was culture shocking for me. So, you know, entitlement, you know, all that played into it. So, I just keep it straightforward, and I mean, I'm not gonna make everybody happy, but you know, I'm honest, and the kids know that.
Coach Ward.
Yeah, man. I think that the favoritism thing is probably, and I don't know, you guys, coaches, y'all probably can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know we get it a lot from girls, because I think every kid wants to be treated the same way, you know. And what I tell my kids is that my perception of each one of you all is different. How I'm looking at you, somebody else may see you different. But the goal is, you know, like Britt said, is to give every kid the equal opportunity, you know, to earn whatever they try to earn. And I think what's lost in today's game is that you have to produce. You know, it's regardless of what the coach say, what the coach not doing, who the coach feel, who the coach like. You still have decided to play this game, and you must compete at the highest level, and you have to produce. What I tell my kids is, you know, relationships go 2 ways. So whatever you want from me, you can get from me. And lastly, is like I encourage my kids and I recommend them, don't compare yourself to each other. Know that everything will be fair. I will be honest. But producing is the main one that I think is lost in today's world of youth sports.
BT.
Man, I'm gonna be just totally honest. I think it's one of those things, and I think Coach just kind of said it. I mean, you got to produce, but I think at the same time for coaches not to have favorites. I mean, we're kind of delusional. I mean, I have favorites, and not all my favorites are going to be the guys that can just you know, shoot the ball. I got favorites with, you know, I love to see kids diving on the floor. I love to see kids taking charges, and those kids ironically become not just my favorites, but they become the favorites all across the board of just giving folks, you know, energy, and just, you know, and you just love that feeling when you got kids that are selfless and kind of give it up for the team. So those are my favorites. I think I get into a lot of situations and back and forths with this the word politics. You know, you hear people say it, you hear families come to me and say, oh man, don't play in that program or don't go to that school. It's going to be all politics over there. And I just think, man, everything has politics. And a lot of times just the relationships that I have with families right then and there, that's politics within itself. I try to be as fair all across the board. And what I tell a lot of my parents is that a lot of kids in my program, not only did I coached a lot of my coaches' kids, I've coached family members, I've coached my own family members. And at the end of the day, who gives me the best opportunity to win and do it the right way? I think those in the end become my favorites just all across the board. And because at the end of the day, you know, when we win, man, we the best coaches in the world. And when we lose, then we don't know what, man, we should have been fired. Man, who did he have out there? Why he had that person out there? What is he doing? So you're going to get it both ways. I think in the end, you just want to be able to have the people out there doing the things the right way. And those are the people in the end become your favorites.
Coach K-Dub.
Yeah, I mean, I got favorites. I'm not going to lie to you. The favorites for me are the ones that buy into our program. And, you know, sometimes a kid can, you know, be swayed by the people outside, you know, listening to what they think. And a lot of times I try and, you know, get them to understand that the majority of people don't know what they're talking about. And you got to make sure you listening to the right people more than anything. So my favorites are the ones that just buy into what we're doing. And, those are the ones that normally produce anyway. They're putting in the work. They're doing the extra things that you suggest to them. They're showing up early. So, yeah, my favorite is just the one that's bought into the program, honestly. And I try my best to kind of navigate and get anybody that's not part of that, group out of there. Every year I'm going to have a kid or two that transfers that think they're better than what they are. And, I tell people the truth and I live in that. And so when you live in that realm, you're just going to always end up with people that feel that way. And so when they feel that way, my suggestion is that you leave and you go somewhere else. And, 10 times out of 10, we find out that, I was probably right about you. If you come in and you 5, your daddy's 5'7", and he's arguing me that you should be D1 and you 5'7", normally, your genetics, you can tell whether or not somebody really is like that. So, I live in the truth, period, and I think that everybody should do that. And it's not too many people good enough for you to deal with any BS, like just being honest, anybody not being bought in. We sometimes as coaches try to feel like we need to make people, we got to keep this person. Nobody really is that great, and if they are, everybody in the area know that that's one of them ones. And normally those people don't leave. So.
And Coach Don.
Smooth, before you move. Oh, my fault. Is it Don's turn?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Don. My fault.
I'm gonna be brutally honest. Nobody on earth is treated the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that just because you play basketball and I'm supposed to treat every single kid on this team the same, that's not realistic. Each kid actually needs something different. The way that you get through one kid may not be how you get through to another kid. You may see some similarities in a kid that you saw in yourself when you were their age. You may work a job somewhere, and I've heard people say, I'm a plant manager, and I have people saying, "Oh, you got favorites," and I'm like, "What?" Yeah, that person shows up to work and does their job. So when people like parents, in my parent meeting, I let it be known, like, be careful what you come to me with, because you might not like what you hear, and I'm totally fine with that. That favoritism thing is just, and I've heard it the last 6 years because I've coached 2 of my daughters, and 99.9% of the kids that I've coached couldn't walk in my daughter's shoes on a good day, bad day, or indifferent day. So that's a touchy subject for me, but because I will go there with you. So just be careful on how you bring it to me.
Let's go. And BT,
I just had a question. I just kind of want to get from the coaches, because I know we kind of talked about the favoritism, but what do we do when, let's say, our most talented player is not our most hardworking and most dedicated player, and it's just like it's coming easy to him? Like, how do we get across to the rest of the guys that you should be getting in here early, you should be working out, you should be doing these things, when we watch and somebody else may come so easy? So do any of us run into that problem? And if we do, like, how do we deal with that? Before we moved on to something else.
I can address that one. So for us, no one man in our program is more important than the other, and I put myself in that same category. And so if anybody's slacking, we're gonna address it. When we address stuff head on, we address stuff in front of everybody that's within our family, within our group. And there's times where if I feel like a guy is not, completely bought in, I don't like, your stats can be on point, all of that. It's my job to get you to your fullest potential of what you can be when you're in high school. And so if I feel like you got more in your tank, I'm going to push. And sometimes that I might have to kick a kid off the team for a little bit, or suspend a kid if I feel like they're not doing their parts, and that's, you know, our best players are not exempt, and sometimes, you know, they're held to even a higher standard if they weren't, you know, so talented or such a big piece to moving the team and the way the team, you know, is going to respond, and if they weren't a captain or a leader, they wouldn't be held, you know, to such a standard. But yeah, I'll kick a kid off the team in a minute if they not doing the right things. You're not gonna show up late to nothing that I got. You know, if you do that too many times, like I said earlier, I've been a part of some teams where we had dudes that were, you know, some of the best in the country. And, you know, we kicked off the number 4 linebacker in the country, and it changed everything for our season. It made, you know, Antonio Doyle, he became something different. It gave him leadership skills that he wouldn't have tapped into if we allowed him to continue to do the things he was doing. So I've seen the benefits of it. It's just that sometimes coaches, based on their situation, are afraid of what if they don't, you know, return, or what if I don't have that kid. And you know, I'm past the point of being worried about that. And I'm just trying to prepare, you know, young men for the next part of their life. And certain skills as coaches, we have to still give them. And really, it's even worse now because we're like parents and counselors and all of that now as coaches. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I'll let somebody else jump in.
I had a situation this year, just kind of, I'm that person. I like to come in practice. I like to read the room. You know, when we're doing certain drills, I don't go to like my, you know, my top players or like my starting 5 or whatever. I just like, hey, I need 4 people out here. Step up. This is what we're doing. And there was a moment where I was like, all right, let me see if this, you know, this player can work this out on their own, you know, face through adversity. And I just pulled her aside and just told her, I said, if we had a game tomorrow, I will not start you. And she's been starting for me the last 2 years. So it's like, but if we had a game tomorrow, I will not start you. You know, you want to play at the next level. They're reading everything. Like statistically, yeah, they can see that, but they're looking at your body language, all this other type stuff. And, you know, I just shot it to her straight. Like, you will not start tomorrow. We have a game? No. How you're acting? Absolutely not. I'm not going to award that type of behavior. And I did not want that to be the mindset going in. Like, well, I can be this way and coach is still going to start me. No, I wasn't doing that. And it humbled her a bit. and she took me seriously, you know, and that sometimes it has to happen. And I, like I said, I love all my players. I love my kids. And there are times like you said, even those best ones, it's like, God, I got to do this. And, you know, some things just have to be done, you know, and you got to hold us to those expectations. But I mean, again, like we were just saying, like, you know, everybody is different. You know, everyone is coached up differently, but yeah, just being brutally honest, like, no, I will not award you with this type of behavior. So that's kind of one of the situations that I dealt with, you know, and it was actually kind of like, you know, maybe a new experience for me at the time, dealing with that this season. But no, I was just not, and like, I mean, this was like early on, like we haven't played games yet. And I'm like, I am not dealing with this all season long. So you're either gonna take me seriously, or you're just gonna keep treading water.
Don.
I usually like to address that best player to like the first month of the season, like to set that foundation down. That's like the person that usually my top players for my team. I am on them like out the gate, like so that all the other kids can kind of see what just kind of read my tone. Like, okay, if he's saying something to her, he definitely would say something to me. And so I try to set that foundation because, you know, depending on what the situation is, like I don't tolerate any type of disrespect. I don't care if you averaging 30, like disrespect is not tolerated. You will be sat down. If a kid make a mistake or, just being a kid, then that's different. There's, just depends on the situation. But I usually just try to set that tone early with my best players so that the other kids on the team understand that this is the line of expectation.
Got you. And once again, you are listening, you are watching the Platform Sports Talk Show, part 1 of the Coaches Roundtable. This has been already juicy. I asked a few questions and people like, oh, he asked this question already. So I'm gonna take it a little bit light with this next one because we're all human. We all make mistakes, and this is kind of like another break the ice moment. What would y'all say has been your most embarrassing moment as a head coach?
That's taking it light, Fred.
With that being said, you go first, Coach Raven.
Yeah, then I'm going first. I should have kept quiet.
See, it's your fault.
Oh, man, the most embarrassing moment. Oh, I know. Anytime I get a tech, I'm embarrassed. So I went into this year and I said I'm not gonna get a tech because when you get a tech, you got to sit down. You can't coach. And for me, I feel I motivate my kids when I'm up, I'm talking, I'm being able to communicate. So Burroughs was in our district. We got them at Viz, and Lord knows I won't be quiet at the ref and got a tech. So I say that was probably my most embarrassing moment because that was a game that the kids needed me and to be up and out, down the sideline, and I wasn't able to. So yeah, I'll probably say that moment.
Coach K Dub.
I got a few. Losing in the semifinals was embarrassing to me, to the team we lost to. But no, my most embarrassing moment, I would say, was my first season as head coach at Luther North. We're playing MICDS in the conference championship, and it was not going our way. It was still kind of close game, and there was a call that I disagreed with, and I went and tried to talk to the head ref, and he kind of waved me off. And I'm like, I had been seeing the other head coach talk to him the whole game, and this first time I'm trying to talk to him, he waved me off. And I said, one word I probably shouldn't have said, and so they flagged me. And then when he threw the flag, I was like, "What the?" And they threw another flag, so I got kicked out the game. And I realized though that I got kicked out the game because my staff at the time had been on the refs about calls throughout the game. And so when I went to trying to address them, they had already gotten tired of my staff saying stuff to them and kind of threw me out. So that kind of changed the way that I operated with my staff. And now, like, if you're on my staff, you better not say nothing to a ref on the sideline, because I got to be able to get my 2 cents in whenever I need to. So definitely being thrown out that game against MICDS, and I made sure the last 2 years we repaid them whenever we saw them, and that's going to continue as long as I'm here. So
that's what's up. Coach Don Boyce.
I think this year was one of my we were getting ready to play in Cornet at the Webster Classic, and it was jump ball, and at the beginning of the game, and my kids, we won the tip, and we were about to go score on our own basket, and I was embarrassed because I'm like, they don't need any help, and like we're trying to help them score, so it was I just felt embarrassed, man, because that was like, how like I know I felt like I did a horrible job preparing them that game or something, because like, who does that? Like, that's high school. You shouldn't do that.
Coach BT.
Man, I think I'm going with the same as far as some of the other coaches, man. Just getting ejected from a game. I mean, I didn't kind of whip pretty much my whole career. I mean, I don't bark at the refs. You know, if anything, I kind of get upset about a call here and there. But I mean, it's always a level of error that's in there. But I'm passionate about just going and playing the next play regardless, because if you start complaining about the officiating and the refs, then you got to have the parents, and then your kids are going to start doing it. So, man, we took a trip down to Charleston this year, and we played the number 1 ranked Class 3 team. And I mean, they were tough, but when we get down there, man, it's kind of like one of those situations where people say, man, as soon as you're getting off the bus, you down 15. And man, as soon as we got down there, I mean, call after call, people calling the referee by his first name, and he just sticking it to us left and right. So I get the first tech, I go out almost at half court, and I'm just like, come on, man. And they hit me with it. Boom. So now you lose the standing box. So now I got to sit the whole time, and I'm hot, because at the end of the day, it's like, you powerless. You watching all this stuff go on, and I'm just like, man, I can't believe this. And man, bad call after bad call. And it wasn't until like the last 5 seconds of the game when he hit me with the second one. And now I'm just like, dude, you could have just waited until the game was over. You didn't even have to hit me with the second one. But I mean, it was an embarrassing, like all over the place. I had to sit the next game, and the mere fact of me sitting and I'm getting everybody coming up to me and just like, man, why you not coaching? Why you not coaching tonight? They didn't even know I had got ejected with the last couple seconds on the clock. And so that was kind of embarrassing, just to tell folks, man, I got to sit because I got ejected from a game. So yeah, that's kind of like my not so proud moment.
So how many times has this happened to you, BT, that someone would say, wait a minute, how you go to a Catholic school and you got ejected from the basketball game?
Man, hey, at the end of the week, man, I had to repent, but I mean, I'm just like, so it's one of them things where, hey, I'm caught up in competition. So, hey, I'm human too. So, but yeah, that's just what it was. So, but yeah, it was tough. So, but like I said, not so proud about that.
How about you, Coach Billis?
I was really trying to think about it, because I feel like these last, still being, I feel like a new coach. I actually got my first technical this season. And it was like, when I went back and replayed it, the game before this game, one of my players, she was just like, Coach Willis, you need to calm down. Don't get a technical. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to get a technical. I would never do that. Like, I could keep myself pretty cool. And it was our last regular season game. And we were dealing with a lot of, like, my assistant coach was out with the flu. So it was just a lot going on. And then, I mean, it was just a rough week. So I'm like, I'm trying to make it through the week. I'm starting not to feel well. And, I just told the ref, like, hey, that was your call. Like, I didn't think I was like, and knowing me, like my temper, like I didn't think it was like tech worthy, but I mean, I was pretty much on him all game, like, hey, this, and this and that. And he teed me up, and I'm like, I walked down, like taking a couple deep breaths, relaxing and whatnot. And the one ref came over, he's like, Brittany, you got to sit down. And I'm like, okay, like I'm coming. And he's like, come on. I'm like, I'm coming. Like, you see me walking. And then while I'm sitting there, and it was like the fourth quarter just started. It was like, I remember it was like 30 seconds went off the clock. And then I'm sitting there reminding myself, like, I kind of forgot I was supposed to be coaching. I was more thinking of like, did I really just get a technical? Like this, I was really just sitting there like, oh my goodness. And then my assistant athletic director was at the game, told my AD, and he was like, make sure she doesn't get another one because we got districts next week. And then when it was all said and done, I'm expecting this player to come tell me like, Coach, you said you never get a technical, but she never did. And I was like, I was waiting on it, but like, I don't know, like, I would say like embarrassing, but kind of like disappointed a little bit. But like, I feel like I was still in my controlled like self, but in that moment, like having to be told to sit down, and then like the game wouldn't start until I sat down. So I was just like, let me not be stubborn. Let me go hurry up and sit down. Like, I guess that part was embarrassing because I was standing up and then the guy was like, no, you need to sit down. Like, but yeah, like I in my years at Clayton, I never got technical until this year. So I would say it was worth it.
So have there been times that any one of y'all have argued a call and try to state your case, point out to the referee, etc., even when you know that you're wrong, but y'all still want to get y'all point across anyway?
No, never when I'm wrong. If I'm arguing this because I feel like I'm not wrong, I have utmost respect for anybody that's willing to ref. It's probably one of the toughest jobs, on a Friday night or so I try my best not to argue things unless it's blatant. And now, if we want to start talking about how much stuff is blatant, if you coach a predominantly Black team or anything like that, or if you're a Black coach that's coaching against somebody, then we can go there with it. But as far as arguing calls, people are gonna miss stuff, and my job is to make sure that we are so far ahead, or we have so much difference in just our skill set and our talent that the refs can't get involved in the game that way. And so that's something that I actually preach to my kids, because I've had a few games, during my career where I felt like they were taken, that I tell them that we can't be in position for a call to make the difference in the game. And if we're in that situation, we got to live with the 50-50 of which way that call goes. So, I've never been wrong, arguing. So if you see me arguing on a Friday night with the ref probably did something, terrible.
Got you.
Yeah, no, I think I found it that if you don't say anything to the refs, you can get certain calls kind of in your favor just by not even saying nothing. I think that's kind of been like my whole tactic as far as like just moving forward, because again, we know that the state of basketball is in dire need of good officials, and here am I. What am I to do, knowing that the call is probably not going to get overturned, but for me to get on somebody, knowing that if this a young referee, we know we need young referees. I'm trying to be that model to show them like, all right, it ain't that big of a deal. Kind of like what Coach saying, not being in a situation where the game is not going to come down to whether this referee call a jump ball or a foul at the end of the game, but at the same token, you have to do a good job of just educating your players, educating your parents on rule changes and certain things that go on, because at the end of the day, we need good officials. I mean, I hate when they, when we get some bad officials, or I ain't gonna even say bad officials, but guys that's a little bit past their time. And, we watch the game. We know the moves that these trainers are teaching versus some that these guys have had in the past. And it's just like, nah, that's a step back. They teach that. That's part of the game. These kids are doing that type of stuff. And you see this guy like this or this, and it's just like, come on. But I just think if you don't say anything and kind of let the game kind of flow, you can kind of get more calls in your favor than barking at the refs.
Got you. Anyone else?
I think for me, like with the ref, like the whole thing with the refs, it just, to me, it depends on the environment and what we're playing. Like, what environment are we playing in? Because although I coach at a very cultural, diverse school, the girls basketball team is predominantly Black, and when we play certain teams in certain areas, I do feel like that there's a difference in how they officiate the game. When I'm done coaching, I actually have I want to write a book on certain topics, and I believe that there is racism in officiating, and whether someone knows it or they don't know it, I think that certain teams are looked at as more aggressive than other teams, but you know, and that's how the refs sometimes call it. So it's a sticky situation. So even if I thought I was wrong, it's about just calling a fair game on both sides. Like if you call a hand checking, then it's got to be on both sides. You know, if you don't want any contact when that from the offensive player, if they initiate the contact and you calling that, then just call it on both sides. I just call it on both sides. So
I think on my end, I'm never really trying to argue a call. When I'm wrong. But my thing is like Coach BT said, like, and part of what Don said, I played games this year where meaningful games where the other coach is calling the ref by their first name. And then every call that ref makes is in favor of them. So of course you understand what's going on. So it's hard to be a model coach in those moments. But I 100% agree too. Like, it's hard out here for refs. So I just try to give them grace where I can.
I'll speak on a little bit too. So we were getting ready to play, and this is something to think about because I have never thought of this until this past season. There was a game we were playing against Blair Oaks, and we had agreed to going up there the last 2 years. So instead of doing a home and away, they got 2 home games against us. And the year before it was a close game, and then there was a few calls that happened in the first half that or the beginning of the second half ended up changing the game. And I didn't really address it in the moment, but something told me going into this season to look into the crew that was on our game for that week. And I ended up finding out that they had it was 5 of the 7 refs had children that either played in the Blair Oaks football youth league or was going to elementary school there, or one guy was on the school board of Blair Oaks, and that group was about to ref our game against Blair Oaks up there. And so I ended up, sending screenshots and pictures of the guys, that I saw were tied to their program before going and playing up there, and they ended up getting the group changed. Now, when they changed the group, they said they were bringing in a group from outside of, Wardsville is where they are. And they brought in a group from Jefferson City, which is right there, next to them. And one of the guys that was reffing the game actually played, on the same football team in high school as the head coach up there. So we ended up having a little bit better crew, and they couldn't quite, do enough to keep the game close enough for them to take it from us. But what happens if we go up there and we play with that original crew of, 5 people whose children, are in that school district and playing for that coach and playing in that program. So, coaches, when y'all play out of town, make sure you do your due diligence on the ref crew, because, people do set things up and this game can get a little dirty, especially if you're a black coach.
Got you. So speaking of relationships, y'all brought up in regards to, the referee coach relationship. We all know that coaching is fraternity or sorority, pretty much. And Raven and Coach Willis, I know y'all two know each other very well. That's how I got connected with Coach Raven Ward. And then y'all had to end up facing each other weeks ago. I know Coach Don Boyce, you and John Albert, y'all Facebook friends, y'all go back and forth, with the banter, then y'all face each other off in girls basketball. Coach BT, I know that you probably have someone that you very cool with that you got to face off with, and same with you, K-Dub. So tell us about that relationship of being cool with other coaches, having that friendship or brotherhood or sisterhood, and then knowing that you had to maybe face off against them in the game. I'll start with you first, Coach Raven.
Yeah, I actually coached against Don twice this year. Coached against Britt once. For me, I appreciate, the relationships with the coaches. But when it's time to play, I'm a competitor first, and I remember walking up to Britt the day of I think Britt. I don't know if you remember when we were doing the captain thing. Brittany shook my hand like hard. I'm like, okay, Britt. like, okay.
I stand on business. That's what a handshake was for.
I remember looking down.
I was.
But I totally understand, and I have enough respect for the game, right? That the fact that she was coaching her kids up, regardless of my relationship and our relationship, whatever, and I do the same. But yeah, I appreciate the sisterhood, and I think Britt and I had talked, and then I think what was it? The day before the district game, Britt, we were talking, it was just supportive, and I was letting her know some stuff I had went through and been through, and she was just super supportive. So in this coaching world, you need those support systems, especially from people that are going through similar experiences as you are. So yeah, but Brittany had me thinking that first half. I'm like, what is going on? The way she prepared her kids and had them ready to roll, I can't do nothing but respect it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, coaching is a non-contact sport within itself. I mean, I think when you get to this level and when you high school coaching and then some guys play coaching at the next level. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like chess. You have to strategically, map things out, and you just got to do the work. So when I'm looking at somebody across from the sidelines, whether if it's one of my close buddies or if it's somebody that I got a lot of respect for, I mean, I want to see that you put the work in. Not only did you put the work on paper, did you put the work on articulating your vision to your kids, and then or your kids gonna believe you and feel it in order to go out there and execute the vision of the coach. So I think when I'm looking at aspects of like that, like I'm respecting any man or woman that's taking the time to reach our youth and reach our kids, to at least just show them the game. But the competitive side has to come out. I mean, like I said, man, we in sports. So when you're looking at that, the person that you're about to play against, you trying to strategically see what, if they make this move, what would be the move that you would make in that situation, and how deep are you willing to go to get that W. So a lot of these guys that I coach with, man, and I feel like I'm one of the elder statesmen, but man, we done played against each other, and I think pickup runs in the summertime to be able to get that physical aspect out for those who continue to play. I think that's good. And then also being able to kind of like network around guys and bounce ideas. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's like chess. You're trying to see what moves they're going to make so you can make that next move in order to get them. So that's how I approach these competitions when I'm playing against or coaching against my buddies.
Coach Willis.
Raven, me and my assistant, we always say we had you shaking in your boots in the first half. I came prepared. I was ready.
And Britt assistant was hyped the whole game.
We both almost got technicals.
Yeah, I look down and I'm thinking he talking to Britt because Britt got this calm demeanor, and I'm look left. I'm like, I know Britt ain't acting like this. I look, it's her assistant. I'm like, what's up? But Britt, I give it to you, man. We had to go in there at halftime and reset. Then we come back out and we don't do too much talking about the second half though.
No, it is what it is. Like I said, I hate losing, but sometimes you have to learn to be a great loser, and I respect it. I knew that second half was gonna be different. I told my players, I'm like, I know that coach is over there screaming at them right now.
I actually didn't scream, Britt. I actually didn't scream. I went in there at halftime and I said, "What are we doing?"
That's right.
That's all I said.
That's right.
Yeah.
Again, still being like, fresh and new to this coaching world. It was kind of a struggle at first. I mean, I feel like a lot of these coaches that I've coached against, When I was in high school, they were coaching, that same program, or they're somewhere else. So it's just like, oh yeah, I remember you. You played for Thomas Williams type of deal. And I guess like, sitting in rooms, whether it's like for districts or tournament time, I just felt like, oh, these people are cliquey, and here I am, like just a fresh new coach. I don't know how this works, and like I said, playing against Raven, not knowing if we ever would do it, but like just like she was saying, like when it's game time, it's game time, but just also respecting people who's been doing this for a very long time, and I try to like have conversations just to get to know these coaches, especially if I'm playing them a lot. And just building those relationships, being able to talk to people, because when I'm thinking I'm going through some adversity, I feel like there's coaches out there that been through the same thing as me. So I try to like, figure out like just how to build those relationships and be able to connect. Reaching out to Raven for me was just like, you get so caught up, just coaching your own program, and sometimes you need to check on people like, hey, how's it going? How's your season going? Let's just talk. I do know I get to coach against Don next year. I learned that. So I'm super excited about that. We finally got it on the schedule.
Be ready for the handshake, Don. it hit different.
Look, like I said, it's game time. It's game time. We not friends. We could talk after, but like, but yeah, we finally got Pattonville on the schedule. So I'm super excited to, just be in that same atmosphere and just, just like I said, building those relationships. Like I said, we coach girls basketball. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach K-Dub.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the coaching fraternity idea in St. Louis for football. It's like coaching in college here in St. Louis. We all, dealing with the same, stuff. Now, when we see each other, we not beefing or nothing like that. But it ain't too many of these guys that I'm going against that, we hanging out and getting drinks later, or they not really helping me much or calling me for help. So a lot of my connects are actually the teams that we play that are out of the area. I've gotten a ton of help from coaches that are, just Hall of Fame coaches outside of St. Louis area. But St. Louis, like I tell college coaches that come through to recruit our kids, I'm like, dude, like you get a coach that's successful here in football, and they can be successful anywhere in college because it's the same deal. You're dealing with the same stuff. So anytime I'm playing against somebody, I'm trying to take your head off. I don't want the kids to even want to look at your school whenever it's time for us to, go. And last year, we did well. We didn't lose to anybody in the St. Louis area. So I that's my plan to keep that going, because it's, parents now making decisions off of what's going on and who hot. And I got to make sure that we, in the conversation. And I can't let any relationship stand in the way of, that, because that's what pays my bills at the end of the day. So this coaching thing being a fraternity, I don't know about all that. I don't think it's no fraternity, and anybody that tell you that is lying and trying to sneak and get your kids or something.
A lot of snakes.
Yeah.
Coach Boyce, your thoughts?
I don't know. I coached on the boys' side starting off. Starting off on the boys' side, it was a lot of coaches that I probably played ball with or against or whatever. So I kind of knew a lot of them. But then, like going on the girls' side, I didn't know too many coaches on the girls' side. So over the last few years, I've tried to be more. I don't know if the word is friendly or whatever. Just once you realize everybody's kind of going through the same thing, then it's a different type of respect, because I respect everybody on this panel. You know, I respect all the coaches, all high school coaches, man, because whether people consider you a good coach, great coach, or whatever, the fact that you sacrifice your time and you put in to pour into other people's children's lives, I think that's huge, man. So you have that respect from me, but just like Coach Britt said, when we line up, anybody that knows me or competed against me when we were younger or whatever, it's like that. We're about to go to war, and but then after that, it's all good after that. But it's go time.
So I want to speak on a hot topic. Probably is too hot of a topic right now, but y'all all probably have seen the young 14-year-old boy from Jennings get stabbed recently. Then you had the two girls from Hazelwood East fighting, and I know that we had to talk about this before, Kyle Wagner. But what are y'all thoughts right now in regards to safety in schools and at games as well? It's really been a very pressing issue. Not saying nothing happened around other cities and states, because it does, but of course we're focusing on right now Missouri. But just what are your thoughts on the recent news and just overall safety in schools and at games? I'll start with Coach Kyle Wagner first.
Well, our safety has gotten upped a little bit because we had the issue at our Live for Life game 4 years ago, where we had to stop the game after shortly after halftime because there were so many fights going on. And what we realized was kids were sending out flyers from other schools to come to the game and basically saying that we're going to get down at the Luther North Live for Life game. And it didn't make sense to us because we were looking around why are there so many people at this game? That wasn't supposed to be a big game, and it was packed. And it was just people were dropping their kids off. And so we had to come up with some rules and put some rules in place. And since we've done that, we haven't really had any issues. So what I would say is, in today's climate, we just have to have, certain policies put in place to assure everybody's safety, because if you don't, then there's parents that will just drop off 6, 7 kids. They might not even go to either school. And so when those kids don't go to the school, you're going to deal with, certain things. And then the other part is just the mental health part. So when we're just talking about within the schools and violence, within the schools and after school, I think that we've drawn so much attention into kids kind of, how are you feeling? Are you depressed? What are you going through? That it's becoming counterintuitive to why we started doing this thing. And kids struggle now with tough love, and they struggle now with the rub some dirt on it. They can't do that anymore, and they struggle with their emotions because we've made them hypersensitized to what those things are. And so kids today got it tough, man. And you add in social media and the bullying and stuff and the conversations that go on. There's some kids that won't take a shot or go up for a ball because they are in fear of it ending up on social media and people talking about it. So it's probably tougher now than ever to be a kid. And that's why we're seeing a lot of the violence that we're seeing. We didn't have to deal with a lot of the stuff that they have to deal with.
And Coach Boyce, I know you have to go pretty soon, so I'll let you answer this question. And then after that, if you don't mind answering, what are some that, what do you want your lasting legacy to be as a head coach? How do you want to be remembered?
Okay. With the kids, I with the violence and the way that the kids are acting right now, I'm really old school with this. With my thoughts with this, it starts at home. The accountability of being a parent, a loved one, a support group, whatever the case may be, these children are acting off of what they see. So we have adults that act the same way that these children act, and they're to me they're just emulating what they see. So if you are around people that their response is violence, I mean, what do you expect that child to do? Like, I expect them to respond with violence. Um, the accountability of parenting, I think parenting is at an all-time low. There needs to be some serious conversations because the actions of these kids are a reflection of what of the people that are raising them and speaking into their lives. As far as my legacy, um, I if I don't win a state title, I'm totally cool with that. I just want to be remembered as the coach that went the extra mile, that helped change the outlook of girls basketball in the city of St. Louis, and the state of Missouri. Um, Anything that I participate in, I give it 120%. So um, the Pattonville program has never been, the female program has never been talked about the way that it's been talked about the last 3-4 years or so. So I'd like to think that I had a piece in helping build up that brand, that program for good competitive basketball at Pattonville High School. So that would definitely be something I would hope would be tied to my legacy.
That's what's up, man. So before you leave, thank you once again for your time, Coach Down Boy. Some of you got to go ahead and go. And please feel free to let other coaches know they want to be on part 2, because it's going to be a part 2. Not sure when, but it will happen. But if they want to be part of the conversations for our next one, please have them get at me so that I can go ahead and book them and make it happen.
All right, thanks, man. Good luck to everybody, and the upcoming seasons. Wish you all good health, prosperity, everything. Brittany, it's on.
Look, come on now. I ain't gonna back down from a challenge. Let's go. Let's go.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, you all have a great night, though.
All right, now. All right, let's continue on. We got a comment here. Let me see real quick. So our favorite fan, Miss Dub, says, I think she thinks too many parents tell their kids that no one should say anything mean to them. So when it happens, the kid overreacts. Y'all thoughts?
I mean, kind of like what Coach Don said, it kind of starts at home, me being both like a teacher and a coach, this stuff goes hand in hand with me, and I don't think it's about just being mean. It's just about like, I'm going to do what I need to do to help this child become successful. I wouldn't be doing my job if I tell them something like, or being worried about like, oh, it's about being, no, I'm here to help you. That is my job as an educator and as a coach. And it's not looked at as being mean, but it starts at home. So, I see it all the time. And now, and also just being in parent teacher conference and being in meetings and stuff like that, some parents' reactions are like, what? Not my kid. It's like, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you the truth of what I'm saying. I'm not going to make stuff up. That's not what it's about. It's about putting kids in a position where they can be successful. And if you look at that being mean, like I said, it can't control what goes in at home. So it's kind of how I look at it.
Coach Raven, your thoughts about safety?
About safety, I think it's different. I was just reading about the Hazelwood, I think East, right? East girls, and I think these kids these days, they just go out and they just do whatever they feel like. They don't really care about, the next person health, or they're not concerned with anything but what they want. So I think that I love the fact that they have the what do they call them, the resource officers at the school, because you never know what these kids are going through at home and what they're bringing to the school, whether that's anger or whatever, trauma. They're just looking for somebody to take it out on. So yeah, I love the fact that resource officers are embedded in the schools, and I think it kind of is different, because when I was going to school and I went to East Side, it's like we had security, but we have police officers, and these type of fights weren't happening to this level consistently when I was going to school. So yeah, it's just a little bit different.
BT.
No, I think you can kind of point to pretty much in any year of people kind of saying that, this is the worst generation, or this is the worst our kids have been. I mean, it was going on back, when we were in high school, just a Beaumont Vashon game was, I mean, you already knew something was going to go down, and it had nothing to do with probably the kids that went to Beaumont or went to Vashon or those schools. It's the outsiders that are coming. We had a similar incident at the beginning of our football season where a game was canceled somewhere else. Everybody came over to our game and
I heard about that.
Yeah, it just hung out. Now, once you start peeling back that onion and going down this rabbit hole, now you start realizing that, safety is needed, but then you realize that, okay, where is the manpower coming from? I mean, we had St. Louis, the St. Louis police, city police there, and I mean they were undermanned because it was just way too many people out, and then you can see it probably on any Saturday, on any weekend you go downtown, kids are just running roughshod. I think Don kind of hit on it. It's that dirty word called accountability. I mean, so many parents want to pass the buck to, have the school teach them how to behave, or having someone else teach their kids how to behave, when, I mean, in the end, it starts at home. Nowadays, you can't say anything to these kids without the fear of, being reprimanded for saying something. I mean, for saying something wrong. And I think, we're living in a space now to where it's kind of like, hats off to you ladies, coaching on the women's side, because, I see it so much being at an all boys school. Once we get any energy of girls coming to our place, it's just, you can't, those are the majority of the fights that are kicking off, or the girls. And it's like, but what can you say to them? You can't tell them to, put the, change clothes, because now you body shaming. You can't say this because for fear of this. And it's just kind of like, like, what are we doing? I'm big on respect, and I think the respect is at an all-time low. So I do my part, and the kids in my school, the young men in my school, is just making sure that I'm the model, and I'm also just telling them, like, look, I was 14 before, I was 15 before, in the height of the Crips and Bloods era, or the gang era, and I found a way to transition to something else. And you just have to be just real with them. And sometimes medicine is not going to taste good, and even if you have to reach out to a lot of these parents and getting on them about the whereabouts of their kids, you probably have to go above and beyond, just so they know, look, you have to be accountable for your child. I mean, and sometimes it's hard to even do that. I mean, I remember just being at a couple games, and some little girls kind of got out of line, and they looked at me crazy when I just said, call your mom, call your house. I'm finna call your house right now. And it was just like, whoa, I can't believe that somebody finna call my house, because probably folks at the school probably not calling home, telling them that the kids are misbehaving or doing this, that, and the third. So we all have a part to play. I think we have to make sure as coaches we use our influence in the best way as possible, and that's making sure that we're modeling the things that we're trying to do. It's a sacrifice. As much as I want to be out and hanging out on the weekends, I can't do that, because as soon as they see Coach BT in the club or Coach BT somewhere, then that's the chatter. And then all of a sudden I lose my credibility in even saying something to them. So it's we wear a heavy hat in this coaching space. I just commend everybody for taking time out to be able to be in a position to teach and coach someone else's kids. But again, we also have to do our part too. So
it's amazing how you just brought up sacrifice and like you said, trying to have a social life, if you're out there, because that's going to be my next question, as I have just two more questions left before we end this wonderful show. But as a coach, we know it's different if you're like in sports or professional sport. But let's say for you, BT, your season ends 1 week, but then you got to get ready for training the next group of kids, or you're doing summer camps and you're doing this. So even though your season's over, you're still doing things around the clock. So how has coaching affected your social life? Like BT said, hey, I want to go out to the club or have a drink, but then you might see someone or it might be an issue. Or just think about you as a father, as a wife, or as a husband, as as a parent, whatever. What are your thoughts about coaching and how it's affecting your social life?
You want me to go?
You go ahead, Coach BT.
Oh no, I mean, for the most part, this basketball, man, it's been a part of my life since I was 13 years old. So it's pretty much a lifestyle. I would say, like, I'm always in the gym. I have young ones. I coach a 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade team. My son is in the 6th grade. So I'm always, coaching his buddies somewhere in the gym training. And then I have to be my best campaign, which means that I have to make sure that I'm active to be able to have the kids listen to me. Now, no knock to any, coach that, has read a book and became some of the greatest coaches of our generation. But in the same token, it's kind of like, again, you have to be that model. So what I like to do, I try to just get away as much as possible when I can and try to plan vacations, try to plan other things that don't consist of basketball. Smooth, you know how I get down, man. This my time of the year to be super creative. I'm big into, music and wrestling and art and all these different things that folks wouldn't even think. But it's like I have to get so far away from it just so I can continue to enjoy it when I come back to it. So you just got to surround yourself with good people that's trying to do positive things to where it don't seem like you have to indulge so much in the club. Like everything is not the club life, and that's what I try to tell folks. Is like, man, everything is not the club. You want to be somewhere to where you happy and content in your own place, to where you satisfied doing the things that you want to do around you with the people you want to be around. So that's what I try to do, to try to get away and try to continue to have a social life, try to plan things with my wife and go on vacation. So that's what I'm about to get into in these next couple of weeks before we hit the ground running for a summer start.
Coach K Dub.
Yeah, there's no social life if you trying to really be great at this. I do football, 24/7, 365. While I'm sitting here on this, I got stuff I got to handle. I done got, calls and text messages about stuff that went on today. So anytime you got 60 to 70 individuals that you are in charge of, and their problems are your problems, on top of I got 13 coaches, like, if you're trying to run a top-notch program, you almost always going to be on call. And I'm okay with that. I chose this. I plan on doing this to the point that this thing is what pays my bills. So I don't really care about going out and partying. I much rather see what's going on in the RPO world in football and figure out what's the next hot thing, or like that stuff is what excites me. Like just the game itself. I love this game. I love every part of it, the downs and the ups. So I really don't care. Like I don't care about social life or none of that. For me, my social life, I would say, is just being able to come home and give my kids the things that they want. I love being able to, when they say they want to get some or they want to go on a trip or they want to go and do something, just being able to provide that for me is enough social life for me. So yeah, I don't the club and partying and all of that, hopefully everybody I play against, that's what they doing.
Coach Ward.
Yeah, it's just simple for me. No social life. When you're trying to, I want to coach at the next level. So a lot of my time right now is just dedicated to me growing at coaching and building relationships with the young people as well as coaches on the next level, right? Just trying to build my resume. So yeah, no social life. I get in what I can get in at times, but I kind of coach 365. So our season ended March 4th, and then we go right into EYBL and for summer, which is a thing in itself, a certain dedication and commitment. So yeah, I'm with the other coaches. No social life.
So before I have you answer yours, Coach Willis, I do have some breaking news. SLU men's basketball coach Travis Ford has just been let go. SLU just lost in the A10 tournament against Duquesne, and he has just been relieved of his duties doing coaches roundtable show. So Travis Ford is no longer the head coach. I just got the news right like 2 minutes ago. No, I'm sorry, about a minute ago that he has been relieved of his duties from St. Louis men's basketball program. So going back, Coach Willis.
As far as social life goes, I mean, BT kind of said it a little bit, just trying to find that balance. And I think it kind of started like me growing up playing basketball. My parents made sure that I took breaks from basketball. They did not want me to get burned out. They still wanted me to be a kid. Track was my second sport. So during track season, I just ran track. I wasn't doing both. So it's just kind of something that I grew up on. It's something that I know. So, just I feel like my parents are pretty much programmed that way. So when I'm not doing basketball, I try my best to turn it off. And just, again, like not getting burned out or, again, when I do go out, like, again, just me, just not only just as a coach, but just me as a person, like, I want to carry myself well. I'm not a club person. I do love happy hours. Everybody knows that. I will go to a happy hour every Friday up until basketball season starts. I've been doing that for 2 years straight and I enjoy it. But yeah, just kind of finding that balance, once I finish up, the season, like wrapping up, like with just individual, meetings and banquets, all that type of stuff. Like I do kind of walk away from it, because I, like I said, I'm programmed to just miss the sport. So just finding that balance for me is so important. And I think that's why I've been around the sport as long as I have, because I've, made sure like I still have to have a life outside of basketball. And I don't say that I don't love the sport, because I do. Like that's why I'm coaching. I'm able to share this passion with, young girls and hoping to, help them achieve whatever goal it is, whether it's playing college basketball, whatever sport, just kind of teaching them that, life skills. So, but for the most part, like I said, social life for me is something that I try to do as much as I can. And like right now, like I said, just wrapping up things and definitely going to take some time off.
I feel you. So once again, this has been an incredible part one of the Coaches Roundtable. I have some amazing coaches. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for taking time out to be on this show. My very last question, I'll start with Coach Raven. Just like I asked Coach Down Boys, what do you want your lasting legacy to be as a coach?
Yeah, for sure. I think I definitely want part of my legacy to be is that I poured into the kids and was able to, be there when they needed me too. And, just that I care. You know, you get a lot of people that sit in these chairs and they really don't care about the person, about the kid, and beyond basketball. And so I definitely want to be someone that's remembered for that. And then I also want to be remembered for just being a female that had the know-how and was truly knowledgeable of the game. I think it's a lot of people that beg to differ, that females actually know what they're talking about when it comes to the sport of basketball. So just knowing that I gave my all and making sure that I perfected my craft, and I just didn't show up to coach, right? I put in the time to have the know-how to be a great coach.
Coach Willis.
As far as my legacy goes, this again, like my teaching and my teacher kind of goes in like hand in hand. But you always hear that if you can get in touch with just that one kid, like just making an impact, big, little, whatever the case may be, just being able to make an impact on my players that come through my program, and just being proud, like playing Clayton girls basketball, and and just always being there for them, like I just, this is my first senior class, so just to watch them go through, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And just always being there for them. And like I said, just being an impact, a positive role model, and showing, young girls that, you can have a full-time job being, a hardworking woman, and you can still come out here and coach this sport and do it all. Like I have so many hats, I do so many things. And I just want my girls to really understand the true definition of, like, when you put the time in, you put the work in, good results come in, and that's just kind of like what I want my legacy to be. I want my girls to understand about just when you work hard, things will come to you. And I think that is something that I demonstrate to my kids.
Coach K Dub.
Yeah, this is a tough question because I feel like it's changed for me. For a long time, I wanted to be known as one of the best coaches to coach in the St. Louis area whenever I finish. But I think my dreams have kind of gotten a little bigger with some of the connections I've made and some of the conversations I've had. So more than anything, I want to be known as a person that where my feet, are. I poured everything into the people. And I impacted, the student athletes. I impacted the person that's, coming in and doing maintenance. Just that my presence is felt where I'm at, and that when I leave a space, I left it, much better than what I found it in, and that, people will be thankful for the fact that they came in contact with me. And as long as I'm changing lives, man, and I'm giving, people opportunities that maybe they wouldn't have had if I wasn't in position, I feel like I'm doing the work that God kind of, put me in place for. I'm not the average, person that's in this position. Like I was homeless at one point in my life. I done been through all kind of struggles. I done did stuff that, I probably would have been in trouble for if I got caught doing it. And so being able to come from that and provide that voice to some kids that are going through some things, I think is important, and I try and tell my kids that, you got to make it through whatever you're going through right now, because, it's a kid that hasn't even been born yet that's counting on you to make it. So yeah, just trying to be a voice, man, and trying to, break barriers and do those things. And obviously I also want to win a lot. I've won one state championship and win at whatever level I'm at the highest level. So as long as I'm known as a winner and somebody that poured into people, I'll be good with my coaching career.
And last but definitely not least, Coach BT.
Man, for the most part, man, I want my legacy just to be of a coach, man, that was like just truly loyal, loyal to his family, loyal to his friends, loyal to his colleagues, a faithful person, faithful to the game, And what I mean by that is just you're going to get what you put into it, being loyal to the game, you're going to get what you put into it. And just, pretty much been sticking to your word and riding things till the wheels fall off, because I had an opportunity. And I mean, just if you know the history of this school and just being a person, just I fully gravitated to this community and kind of put all hands on deck with just saying, look, I'm gonna stick around and be around just to show folks about how loyalty is and how sticking to your word, how those things could be. And those things can be impactful as a man moving forward. So when I look back on my legacy, I just want every player that's been played for me to kind of get that sense of, man, that's what Coach was about. Kind of like, I have everybody usually at some point in time take a page or have them go watch The Godfather and just sit and just look at how family is important and how sticking to morals and principles are so important. So that's what I want my legacy to be for any of my players that's been played for me and folks that's been around me, is that's what he's been about. So.
Excuse me, my bad. That's awesome. Appreciate y'all answers, man, and just being on part one of the Coaches Roundtable. It's definitely been my pleasure to have you all on. Once again, y'all are all incredible. Thanks for always supporting the Platform Sports Talk Show. I do look forward next season as y'all seasons come around. I look forward to going to each and every one of y'all games. Down Boyce, you as well. And let me know if there's anything that I can do to help in regards to the Platform Sports Talk Show or Smoooth Productions. Would love to be able to go out to games, interview, create content, show my support the best way that I can. So definitely let me know, guys, about future events, anything going on, so I can be there and show my support, because y'all supported me, and I'm just doing what I can to return the favor as well. So thank y'all for being on part one of the Coaches Roundtable.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Right on, Smooth.
Most definitely. So, with that being, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach Raven.
No, I just saying thanks for having me. That's all.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So, for all those watching for the first time, I hope that you all enjoy another edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. Once again, go ahead and give us that follow. We on Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show. We on the X at 314 Sports Talk. We on Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. If y'all know anyone that want to be, that should be a guest on this show and have their story told, have them email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. Of course, on YouTube, going up right now to the Platform Sports Talk Show. Coach Raven, you included. Go on there right now. Subscribe, click on that bell so anytime we go live, you will be notified. Once again, the show will be uploaded right away on all the platforms, including Roku. So put in the Platform Sports Talk Show on any Roku device, add us as a channel. You can also listen in on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot. Go on the website, hot365radio.com. or go on your iOS or Android device, put in Hot 365 Radio and check out the logo. We also own their Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Hot365 Radio. Also, twitch.tv/Smoooth Productions, and that's Smooth with 3 O's. Miss Dub showing love like always. Love all the discussions and insights provided by the dedicated coaches, and yes, very dedicated. And once again, I appreciate each and every one of them. With that being said, everyone, enjoy 314 day. Coach Rave, I know you're gonna be enjoying 618 day out there, but anyway. But everyone else, enjoy.
Before I go, you know who you gotta get on here? You gotta get the Spains on here.
I've been trying.
What they doing is phenomenal.
Trust me. I haven't. Well, actually, Brendan Spain has been on the show multiple times, but I want to get his wife on.
Yeah, they so dope. Oh, Tips so dope. They so dope together too.
Yeah, actually, she was supposed to have been a guest on Ladies Night 2 months ago, but her schedule changed.
Gotcha.
So trust me, I'll be on it. I'll be on the from the local to the national. I'll be on it. So definitely stay tuned. But also, with that being said, if y'all know, I know y'all know coaches. Let them know about what I'm doing here, and if y'all feel like they should be a great panelist in regards to part 2 or part 3 of the round table, get at me. I'll connect with them and make it happen. So that's your other assignment as coach now. But anyway,
thanks, Smooth. Much appreciated. Coach BT, I'm so excited that I was able to hear you speak. I see everything on Twitter, Instagram, and I'm like, I don't even know this person, but I think he's truly amazing. What you do, everything. I was actually at the Clayton and St. Mary's game a couple weeks ago at Webster, and it was just exciting to watch your team play and how you coach them. Nothing but respect all the way.
Appreciate it.
It's really, it's just, like I said, it's just been really cool just to see what people do around the community, and then just having an opportunity to just be on this show with you, finally meet you versus like just seeing you from the sidelines or on social media. It's been an honor to hear you speak and everything. So I truly respect everything that you're doing over there, especially at St. Mary's. I remember when we got the news with it closing, and I was like, no, like that's not what the community needs. Like, we do not need to shut down a private school in the South Side. No. So I wish you nothing but the best. And like I said, everything you're doing there is truly amazing.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Speaking of which, BT, how's the podcast going?
Man, I told you this is the time right here, man. I got to get back going. So this was a nice little head start to kind of get me going, you know, because like I said, man, my head been down, man, for like the last couple months trying to get these guys to kind of click around this. And I just said, man, I'm finna just, man, go full throttle and, man, no regrets. I'm not finna try to do nothing else. I'm finna focus on this. But I mean, now I got so many ideas, man. Like I said, this kind of jumping off, kind of getting stuff going. We about to go into springtime, summer basketball, you know, folks transferring, like you said, the news of forward. And so now things are about to start heating up around St. Louis. So
changing right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I'm about to get things cranked back up.
All right. Well, definitely get at me if you need anything. I'm always down for a great show, great content, man. And ladies, thank you very much once again for your time. Coach Willis will definitely connect again in regards to Ladies Night in a few weeks. So everyone, continue to have a great rest of y'all spring going to summer, and appreciate y'all. And if everyone's watching, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Next month is our 8-year anniversary, y'all. 8 years doing the Platform Sports Talk Show consistently every Wednesday. And we want y'all to go ahead and subscribe, follow us on all them social media outlets, and enjoy more and more great conversations on the Platform Sports Talk Show. With that being said, it's your boy Smooth, and that's Smooth with 3 O's. We out.